Hello everyone, Riley here with the T-Storm Chasers. We will jump into our weather video in just a moment, but first here is a word from our friends at Cube Portable Storage.
What are you doing?
Decluttering?
Moving? Remodeling? In need of temporary storage, emergency cleanup, or just need to declutter? Cube Portable Storage has the perfect solution. Rent your Cube Portable Storage container today.
And don't forget, they got roll-off dumpsters for the other stuff. Call Cube Storage for all your moving needs.
All right, good morning everyone. Today is Monday, March 16th, 2026, and let's dive into our weather video. Taking a look firstly at the recap from this weekend's system. Now, we had a blizzard across the region, in case you were not aware. This weekend was a rough one out there, especially yesterday, where we saw majority of the snow and wind occurred yesterday across the region. Have a look at this map. This is the latest snowfall reports from the past 24 hours across the region. And let's go out west here. Out in Rapid City, they got about 5 inches of snow. Some of these spots out here in the northern Black Hills got quite a bit of snow. Have a look here. Lead had about 9 inches. The Deadwood area had a foot of snow. Sturgis had about 7.5. 10 inches near Whitewood, 12 inches near St. Ong, and near Spearfish had over a foot of snow. Some places in Spearfish got 13 inches. So out there in the northern Black Hills, they got quite a bit of snow out there. Now, farther to the east, Chamberlain had about 5 inches. Huron had 6 inches. And Aberdeen had about 2 inches. Watertown had about 3 inches. Clear Lake was a spot that got a little bit more. They got 8 inches in the Clear Lake area. Brookings had quite a bit too. 2 miles south of Brookings, 6 inches was reported. Now the Sioux Falls area, it kind of varied. Canton had 6.5. Forestburg had 4 inches. 4 inches at the airport in Sioux Falls. 7 inches in Crooks. So definitely varied in the Sioux Falls area. Also right here, look at this. Far southwestern Sioux Falls, 6.7 inches. And then in Minnesota, Minnesota got hit the hardest. Look at some of these numbers coming in. Benson, Minnesota had 8.5. Marshall had 8 inches. And then you go look out here into eastern Minnesota, the Minneapolis area. Some spots got about 8 inches, and some spots got about 17 inches. One spot there in Rosemount, Minnesota. That's in the Twin Cities metro area. And then look at some of these spots in southeastern Minnesota. Lake City had 19.5 inches. The Douglas, Minnesota area had just shy of 19 inches. The Rochester area had about 16 inches. Mankato had about 11 inches. Look at this spot right here. This was the most snow that was found in Minnesota. Kellogg, Minnesota had 25 inches of snow. My goodness, that was a lot. Des Moines area had about 2.5 inches. Cedar Rapids had about 4 inches. And then the Dubuque area had about 6 inches. So there were some spots in Iowa, too, that got a little bit more. Loudon, Iowa had 9 inches. So this one was definitely one for the history books. It was a classic March blizzard that was found across the area. I just wanted to show you guys some of those reports that we got across the region. Have a look at this now. This was a look at the some of the roads out there. This was one of them in Hoover, South Dakota. So the road conditions as of coming up on the noon hour, by the time this video is uploaded, we are looking at still most of the state is still seeing scattered ice/slippery road conditions. A lot of snow-covered roads, a lot of slick, icy roads still out there, so you want to be careful if you're still driving out there. The roads are drivable now. We don't have any no travel advisories or anything like that anymore. Those have all been lifted, and again, a lot of these roads, though, are still pretty slick out there, so be careful out there. And especially, now the one thing, the interstate roads are good, but it's some of the highway roads and then a lot of the side roads and A lot of the, in-town roads are really bad still. They're very completely covered in snow and ice. On the way to the studio, I experienced that as well. So want to make sure you take just a little bit of extra time, drive a little slower today, as we are still dealing with some slick roads out there. Now, here's a map I have not shown in quite a while. This is the wind chill map for our region. Have a look at this. We have wind chills in the minus teens and minus 20s out there. So we have some very bitter Arctic cold out there because of this system that we saw. And look at some of these numbers. Even this afternoon, we're seeing still minus teens for wind chills, this even into this afternoon. So be aware of that, and just know that frostbite can still occur if you are out there in exposed skin out in this cold weather. So we're seeing some really cold air out there right now. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of that, and be sure to just stay warm, stay indoors. If you have to be outside, dress in layers, and we'll get through this. After today, we're gonna slowly start to warm back up. So let's run through the numbers here on the temperatures today. Again, we're seeing some very cold weather today. We're looking at teens for highs in Sioux Falls, Aberdeen, over to Minnesota and Iowa. We are looking at a very cold forecast. Now, you do notice out west, it is slightly warmer. We got mid-20s out in Pierre. We got 30s out in Rapid City and the Black Hills area. So far western South Dakota today will get into the 30s. And then western Nebraska back into the 30s as well. Tomorrow, we see a contrast. We see the eastern half of the region being cold. Minnesota stuck in the 20s. Iowa stuck in the 20s. Sioux Falls looks to be around 30 tomorrow. And then same thing with Aberdeen. And then you go out west, and we're seeing quite a bit of an improvement. Pierre could be in the upper 40s tomorrow. And then you notice western South Dakota in the 50s, and even Rapid City in the 60s already tomorrow. So it's not going to be too long here before the warmer air moves back into the region. Have a look at Wednesday. By Wednesday, look at some of these numbers coming in. 60s and 70s out to the west. Rapid City, 77 degrees looks like on Wednesday. Otherwise, we got 30s and 40s in the eastern half of the region. Sioux Falls will be in the 40s, it looks like, on Wednesday. And then Pierre kind of be in the mid-60s. And then look what happens on Thursday. You can see it doesn't take very long, and we start to see warmer weather move back into the area. Could Sioux Falls hit 60 on Thursday? I think it's a pretty good possibility. Minnesota will be stuck in the 40s. Iowa will be stuck in the 40s and 50s, it looks like. But then you go out west. Look at some of these numbers coming in. 60s and 70s across the area. Pierre in the low 70s. Even Rapid City could hit 80 degrees on Thursday. My goodness, what a turnaround this looks to be after the weekend blizzard that we just had. It looks like we're going to warm things up this week, and it does look like we are going to see a very, very warm forecast. How about Friday? Even better, even warmer out there. 70 degrees in Aberdeen. Widespread 70s. Sioux Falls in the low 70s, it looks like. Yeah, looks like Sioux Falls is going to hit 70 on Friday. Rapid City could once again hit 80 degrees on Friday. And then look at Nebraska, widespread 80s. My goodness, that is an amazing turnaround from the blizzard. And then how about your weekend? Looks just as nice. Widespread 60s and 70s across the area, even 80s down into Nebraska. So we are going to be seeing a taste of spring once again. And then by the official start of spring this weekend, looks like Sunday we might start to dial it back a little bit in temperatures. Might get back to reality. Temperatures in the 40s and 50s on Sunday. Okay, so let's look at the latest model run and see what kind of systems are going to be coming through our region this week. Let's have a look. Today, we're going to get a dry period of weather, but it's just going to be plain cold out there. We got that high pressure over us now, and so as a result, we're going to be dry today. But as we head into tomorrow, we are looking at more chances for some snow. And have a look here at the map. This is in western South Dakota. You can see Snow starts out west and then moves east across the area for your day tomorrow. And, there could be some freezing rain, maybe some sleet, maybe some ice, possibly, maybe out towards Pierre, Mulbridge, Chamberlain. But we are looking at mainly snow across the area, eastern South Dakota, for your day tomorrow. And that would include the Sioux Falls area, Aberdeen, and then also into Minnesota, northern Iowa. And you can see Sioux Falls, again, could see some snow and maybe some freezing rain in there too. It looks like mainly snow, though, for tomorrow. So another shot of snow tomorrow. So be ready for that. Be prepared for some snow there. And then after that, starting on Wednesday, we're going to clear things out finally, and we're going to dry things out, and we're going to warm things up. We're going to really warm it up here as we go throughout the rest of this week. And then look at what happens Saturday into Sunday. There could be another system maybe by this upcoming weekend, but it mainly looks to be north of us up into Canada, North Dakota, and Minnesota. So that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Be sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed. Drop a comment down below. We want to hear from you guys. And subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Ring those notification bells so you don't miss any of our videos. And check us out also on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok as well, so you don't miss any of our content over there. And with that, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.